Hello, hello, welcome back everybody. My name is Jamie Leonard here with TCG Unlimited. And, well, obviously we're not streaming, but just because I didn't get home till almost 9 p.m. for me, so I knew there wasn't going to be a whole lot of streaming that got done. But I wanted to jump on Magic Online and just see, you know, if we could get the account to work again 2 days in a row, and it loaded up perfectly. I've played 2 games. That's probably going to be the end of it for me tonight. But um, I played these 2 games, and I want you guys to see these 2 games. So I'm gonna hope that the other one loads. This one looks like it's gonna play. So these are the replays. So we're gonna just kind of quickly talk you through basically what's happening. This first game is gonna be with our Super Friends deck, which has been like actually, I mean, literally, it's not even modified. The only thing that changes is Joda's the new commander instead of Golos, which not that big of a deal. Part of me almost wants to switch it back to like Sliver Queen just for the bodies, because I'm getting those old vibes of people think that the answer to beating this deck is swing dudes, and so I felt for a time I felt like we were moving forward in Magic where people were realizing that wasn't your biggest issue. You just needed to kill me quickly. And now it seems like we're falling back to ye old tactic of, well, we just kill the planeswalkers, problem solved. No, no, no. Everybody that knows my planeswalkers deck knows that's the last thing you do is swing at them. Because I mean, I'm honestly just not gonna let it happen. But so this first game is basically Super Friends versus. Does it actually? Can I actually see at this point? I can't. So let's play it for a second. Till we get our commanders. This is the hand we essentially end up keeping. I like the look of it. We had enough lands, but essentially we started out with Tatiova, Tasigur, and Rashimi, which these are fine to me. Like, these don't pose that much of a threat to this deck. Like, this was probably the biggest thing, you know. But this guy's basically going to quit immediately, so we're not even going to bother with him. But like, this guy gets off to a fast start, then this guy gets off to a very fast start. We're basically just kind of dirtling. We're playing like haha cards. I'm trying to bait them a lot, and it doesn't work. Well, actually, it was like every one of our bluffs works, and that's the silly thing. So as you can see from our hand, like, I'm debating like on how fast I want to go. Do I want to go like tap land first, or do I just want to go kind of like all in prepared? We get this, and I go, yeah, we're gonna go just take it a turn slow. But in the scene immediately, it's like, here we go. He's already going like one turn. I was like, but he doesn't do anything. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But he goes turn 2 into 2 lands, and then we just kind of start accelerating from there. So we draw into our swords. That's great. This is going to come in handy in a little bit. And see, this is where he just starts, like, this guy immediately just starts powering up. So he goes into Wood Elves, gets land, and they basically just trade. They basically just take a couple turns, just trading turns of as far as like what they're gonna do. We go ahead and throw Joda down. No other play that we can make. But Joda's gonna make a difference. Joda makes a difference, and I almost let him die at one point, and I'm glad that I didn't. But see, we're gonna go ahead and see the Rashimi come down. That was a problem. So I was debating whether we wanted to like tactical nuke it, but I chose not to. Instead, we go for the Nevi's Disc. The Asuza is a problem because the Asuza with the crew fix and his commander just all creates a bit of a headache. But anybody that knows my decks, your life total is irrelevant. I don't care. You could have infinite life. That's meaningless. Because eventually I'm just going to make it where you just don't even have a board. You don't have a deck. You lose. So basically what we're going to do is I'm just kind of like baiting out cards. I'm just kind of playing to my strong suits. We don't really have any answers. We've got the Donovan's veto. We've got the swords. We've got things. So here comes the Tatiova, which is not a big deal. We were prepared for this inevitability. I was already pretty much assuming this was an inevitability. We planned ahead, and we were prepared for it. Like, I pretty much knew that the Asusa needed to go first. Asusa was the enabler. See, this guy's gonna go for this, and like they're just basically just ramping up lands while I'm sitting here not doing anything. This is gonna draw the Donovan's veto, not letting that happen. Because I'm not ready to commit to the Nevi's disc yet. He's gonna make a copy of his commander, which never really came into play. We're gonna just basically go no to Asusa. And here I kind of make a slight misplay here soon. But not immediately. We're going to go ahead and just start kind of like dirtling with the Teferi. And here's where I kind of almost let Joda die, and it ends up being like the best decision not to let him die. Because that one turn of not letting him die ends up being our saving grace. But see, he's going to swing in the Tatiova. I'm going to essentially think about it, and I'm going to go, no, it's not worth it. It doesn't kill. I'm afraid he's got like a pump card that's just going to save his commander. Because I was thinking, I can trade. There's nothing Joda does in my hand for me. So I'm like, yeah, sure, and you can have this. You know, they're both going to get ridiculous hands. They're both going to get ridiculous fields. And, I mean, I'm at the point where it's like, I don't even care. It's pretty irrelevant. But here, as you see, we get the Nicobolus. I'm going to Nicobolus this guy, get the Imposter. And what should have happened was I should have clever Imposter the Sakashima, or the Rashimi, but I should have done this, but the thought was, you know, hey, I copy this, I hit a land, I get to accelerate the deck. But this never really came to like a fruition of an issue. This was never a problem. So it never came up, really. But we took a thief card that he was probably just going to use to, you know, make another copy of his commander, which was great. We took that away. In hindsight, you know, it also would have been good to get rid of his Rogue's Passage, but at the same time, I'm like, nah, there's just no reason to. We've got Nevi's disc. If he swings at me, we nuke the board. We just let everything go poof. And I'm kind of like surprised because I'm expecting this guy to go all in, right? And he doesn't. He backs off, which was really weird. I mean, I fully expected him to force the Nevi's disc, which is what I honestly would have done here. Was try to force me to use the Nevi disc, him come back from the Nevi's disc. And then try to muster an offense, but it didn't happen. So instead, he just kind of lets him go off on his, you know, merry way. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And here's where he makes a slight miscalculation, which is kind of funny. Or, well, not yet. Not yet, necessarily. But he's going to go to this, right? And I'm like, okay, he's going all in at my Planeswalkers. That's fine. This means nothing. I have counter. And so he uses this. Can I pause this before this leaves? Yes. Okay. So he uses this. He's gonna hit the Ava, which is unimportant. It doesn't matter. He's tapped out. He's got one open mana. Not afraid of it. This guy's the only thing I'm afraid of. 7 cards in hand, that many open lands. You know, he is playing blue, so I'm having to keep that in mind the whole time. But it works out. I mean, obviously, main deck counter abilities is not a thing, really. So he's going to use this. It's going to let him shuffle his deck twice because of his Commander's getting him a free card, and then thanks to Storm, he's going to get Storm 1, which is no big deal. He hits the Yeva, I'm like, fine, that's perfect. That's, no big deal. But he hits the Mystic Sanctuary, right? And here's where the here's where the mess up comes into play, right? Because you do this, you put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. Here's the thing, though, right? Let's minimize this. He's targeting this. So he wants this back. But he doesn't realize he doesn't have any open mana. Like, he's got 2. Like, you're not going to do anything with this. You've already done your free spells. You're not getting anything with this. You can't cast this again. Other than if you've got some kind of, like, 2-cost draw card. You're not doing anything with this. And at that point, like I said, we know we've got another Teferi, which didn't matter at all. We didn't use it. But like, we're sitting here with a Nicobolus that we've already used on him once. And he just apparently forgets the Nicobolus is there, or he's just convinced he's going to get the kill. He must not have read Nevi's disc. Like that, at that point, that's the only thing I can assume. So he gets this. He can't cast this. I already knew that. Well, this is his. But he's gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Poof. Everything goes away. No, thank you. He has nothing. He basically just no. So we're gonna untap into Teferi. We're gonna immediately just draw a card. We draw into a land, which was great. We immediately use Nicobolus to steal his card. We Jace into a couple things. Get our counterspell, which was big. We did that in the correct order. We get 2 cards off of this. So now, again, off of his own card, mind you, we get Narset, Parter of Veils, and Time Twister. So at this point, they go, oh, lol, GG. I mean, because Narset just, opponents can't draw more than 1 card, and Time Twister says, shuffle your hand back and draw 7 cards. It's just like I said, your hands meant nothing. You having a lot of cards in hand meant nothing. You having a lot of lands meant nothing. I'm about to lock you to 1 card. It means absolutely nothing. And that's why this deck was good, because he's going to go, okay, well, in response, I will Cyclonic Rift. And then I just essentially just go Counterspell. Because I was thinking going here first, but he wouldn't quite have worked out that way. But he had nothing, so. The card resolves, they go, yeah, there's nothing doing there. And they both scoop. They know there's nothing that's going to help them there, and it was funny in a way. I mean, like, you have big boards, and then this deck just goes, oh, well, I'm just going to steal your card and then win. So and that's why I love the Planeswalker deck. I mean, I can do nothing the entire game and then just win. I can untap and win. Now, game 2 was very similar. This was Atraxa. Atraxa Super Friends. So it basically plays out very similarly. They realize that there's nothing that they can do to stop Atraxa. So we've got Tasigur again, Joda, and Morphon. So obviously it's like, these are my 2 primary threats here. He does nothing to me. And we're taking a bit of a risk just because I see this, and I'm like, we don't even care about lands. We have Oko, we have all the things. We're set. We have, again, the Narset. Narset comes in clutch. Narset basically, I forget who it was. Hold on. There we go. Alright, so this is game 2. And basically game 2 was essentially, like I was saying before, I realized I didn't have my, why is my thing not updating? There we go. So basically, like I said, we didn't get very far because I pretty much paused it. But I keep a 1-land hand. We're playing against another. I want to say this is the same guy that was playing Tassiger before, but Joda and Morphon. Like, this was cool. Like, but these two, like the Joda and the Morphon, were the only things that I was like really considering being a threat. Again, the Tassiger is pretty much gonna scoop immediately. But I think he sticks around for like 1 or 2 turns. We'll keep him up there. But like 2-land, like a 1-land hand here is typically not something I would keep. But just because I see the land, I see this, I see this, I see this, right? So like we're immediately in a good position. So it's pretty much I'm banking on that. I wasn't too afraid of Morphon just because it takes so long. We did draw into another land. It was a green land of all things. So, we're pretty much set for Oko. If anybody gets out of hand, if anybody tries to ramp too fast, we can pretty much just stop that there. Now, this was concerning just because I just don't like playing against this. Not that it's ever worked against me, but just the thought of it. And obviously, like, you can just see from this hand, like, we're stacked. Like, we're sitting very pretty. And so this is where the Tasker quits. And it's a shame that it comes down to this multiple times. But it does. And we're basically just going to use our Nevi's Disc to keep fishing for lands. It's not always going to work, but we've ramped to like 5 mana in 2 turns, so... this was concerning. Like, we played this against this on stream, and we let this get out of hand too quickly. So I was all for just going no with Oko, but we didn't find a land, so I opted for this guy instead. That's going to give us more mana. He's an auto 2 right now, which is not great, but it's not bad. He doesn't do anything, which was kind of surprising. I was expecting Joda. It didn't happen. So we're basically just going to Mystical Tutor, go get a counter spell. And basically we're just going to use Sensei's Top to essentially keep the counter spell on top so we can just have access to it whenever. This guy, the Joda's going to ramp a little bit. I'm like, that's fine. For every turn you ramp, I'm happy. Because that's not a Joda in play. So, I don't really think the Joda, I don't remember if the Joda was ever like a thing. So at this point, like, we keep finding more mana. I'm happy with the way things are playing out. So we go Oko. I go, okay, this is the moment. We go Narset. He scoops. Take away his Cascade. This guy's going to hang on for a minute, but it's literally only that long. Because he basically gets mana screwed. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. So. But that was game 2. That was essentially game 2. That was as far as that got. He just doesn't draw lands. He'll never beat me with this. And then Oko was just gonna, do Oko things and slowly take away their abilities. So yeah, I mean, and then Atraxa was just gonna keep buffing them. You were never, he's never gonna kill this. He's not gonna get some draw. He's not gonna, like, Sylvan Library. Oh, lucky day now. So yeah, we pretty much took that play away immediately. And that was, very good for us in the long run. And also, only having access to... Well, I guess in a roundabout way, he's got access to all 3 of his colors, but still. Or, well, 3 of his 5, but yeah. But that was basically the way the game worked out. I mean, we obviously had the tutor. We, with this kind of mana, we could just go get anything we wanted. And obviously we could just tutor, use the top to draw it, and then we just kind of rock and roll from there. I mean, at that point, I probably do the most brutal thing you can do as a Magic player. Just go get Jace Mind Sculptor, play Jace, and then just actually plus Jace to just make sure he never draws another land. So it would have been extremely funny. I'm not gonna lie. But that was the game, guys. We hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to try to do some more videos like this if I have some good games, whether we win or lose. If we have some good games and I feel like, they were entertaining, and replay will work, we'll definitely do this more often. And sorry for the slight hiccup there between the first and second game. I forgot to switch our screen back. And I am not going to bother trying to edit this at 10 o'clock at night. So, but yeah, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.